Remember last year, even though LeBron had his most efficient year, and we know he's the most valuable player in this league 10 straight years, Russell Westbrook, you told me, was the MVP. You have all this access, all these GMs. Everybody in the league knows if you could start your team with LeBron or Westbrook, everybody would start it with LeBron. In his 15th year, they'd still do it. But you had your access, and you also had your bias, because you weren't really interested in the truth. You were interested, if you covered the NBA, in your agenda and telling a good story. And Westbrook, of course, was a much better story than LeBron. That I'll grant you, because KD left him at the altar. Orlando's a bad NBA team. They were on a 9-game losing streak. How did they get healthy last night? Oh, they just had to play Russell Westbrook and Carmelo Anthony and Paul George and Steven Adams, and they routed them. They routed them. Oklahoma City is now 8-12. They can't win a road game. They've played 11. They've won 2. They've played 12 Western teams. They've won 3. Mr. MVP is overwhelmed. Don't blame him. I don't care. Blame him. I don't care. He got some new toys. By the way, Melo's going to be a Hall of Famer. Steven Adams is better every time I see him. Paul George is an A-list player, and the MVP is overwhelmed. Meanwhile, the NBA's version of MacGyver, LeBron James, got Jay Crowder, a banged-up point guard that can't play yet. He's got Kyle Korver, who they yanked out of the finals because he can't play defense, Channing Frye, a safety pin, and some ranch dressing. And they're on a 9-game winning streak. That's what LeBron James, who you don't think the NBA has as an MVP, all you writers, that's how he's doing it. Look at the box score of the Cavs sometime during this 9-game winning streak. Jeff Green, a fossil Dwayne Wade, Channing Frye, Kyle Korver's their third leading scorer. Go look at the next 10 games. They may go on a 19-game winning streak. And Russell Westbrook can't win a road game. He's a Hall of Famer. Melo's a Hall of Famer. Paul George could be. He's an A-lister. And Steven Adams is a really good 2017 big. And they can't win a road game. Orlando's awful. They were on a 9-game losing streak. Do you know how hard it is to lose 9 straight games in the NBA? The bottom third of this league is garbage. But they got healthy last night because they faced Westbrook. Antonio Daniels, former NBA player, I covered him in Portland. He's a broadcaster for the Thunder. He'd seen enough last night.
This is your job. This is your livelihood. It is embarrassing that teams continue to have their coming out games against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Somebody on this roster has to show some sort of emotion and some sort of passion that will trickle down the line to everyone else. You cannot continue to go out every game and just talk about doing the right things, not do the right things, and expect a different result.
They got blown out by Orlando. There was a 5.5-minute stretch when Westbrook, Melo, Paul George, Steven Adams couldn't hit a basket. How is that possible? Meanwhile, MacGyver, my bad LeBron, is on a 9-game winning streak with 2 hot sauce packets, a tangerine, and Channing Frye. You lose the trust of your audience when you bring in bias and agendas. Stop telling me Russell Westbrook is the league MVP. LeBron's been it for 13 straight years. By the way, let me show you something 10 years ago in 2007. LeBron took this to the NBA Finals. I'll read the names. Drew Gooden, Larry Hughes, Boobie Gibson, Donyell Marshall, Eric Snow. He took them to the finals. He didn't win the MVP in that year either. Melo, Steven Adams, Paul George, Westbrook, 11 road games. They've won 2. You lose the trust of your audience when you have access and proximity, and you're telling me LeBron's not the most valuable player in this league. Shame on you. Celtics won 16 straight. Let me give praise to the Celtics. The Celtics won 16 straight. And listen, Kyrie Irving is a great fit with Brad Stevens. Okay, it works. It's a nice fit. It's good for Kyrie. I didn't like leaving LeBron. I don't think that's the smartest move to leave MJ, Magic, and LeBron. But Kyrie Irving's game, it tends to work. They lost Gordon Hayward. Give a lot of praise to the Celtics. Nice 16-game winning streak. And then there's LeBron. The Cavs have now won 9 straight without Isaiah Thomas. And that's nice. But in both instances, I was kind of like, I didn't talk much about the Celtics' 16-game winning streak, and I didn't talk much about the Cavs' until today, 9-game winning streak. Because we all knew that the Eastern Conference isn't really very good at all. We know that, right? Like, I knew that going into the season. But I got to tell you, it's not like the middle and the bottom of the Western Conference is any good either. I'm going to show you something. The Cavs have won 9 straight games. Here's their next 10. They have a chance to win 19 straight games. Doubt they will. They'll have a bad night. Atlanta, Memphis, Chicago, Sac, Indiana, home Philly, Atlanta, Lakers, Utah, Washington. They'll be favored in the next 10. They don't even have Isaiah Thomas yet. Folks, we knew the middle down in the Eastern Conference was bad. It's bad in the West. There are 4 teams in this league that have a chance to win the championship, and that is it. Cleveland, Boston, Houston, and Golden State. I don't count San Antonio. I didn't last year either. I think they're overhyped. And I think Boston is a long shot. It's Houston, it's Cleveland, and it's Golden State. By the way, the Lakers last night, and let me again, I have defended LeBron James for getting bored. And everybody's like, Colin, you are a LeBron James fan. Let me defend Golden State last night. Golden State's top 7 players, I could argue, are better than the Lakers' top 7 players. I could argue 7 for 7, I'll take all Warriors. Certainly top 5. And they barely sneak past the Lakers in overtime, 127-123. And the Lakers were without Kyle Kuzma, their best three-point shooter usually. Why? For the same reason I defend LeBron, let me defend the Warriors. The Warriors last year in the playoffs went 16-1. They've already lost 6 games. Could have been 9, and we're 22 games in. I'm not a homer when I defend LeBron. Because let me defend Golden State. They're bored. The NBA middle and bottom isn't just bad in the East. It's bad in the West. We got 3 teams that can win the championship. LeBron in Cleveland, Houston, and Golden State. I don't buy Boston. I ain't beating LeBron 4 times in 2 weeks. They don't have anybody who can guard LeBron. Jason Tatum, he's 19 years old. And I don't buy San Antonio. I didn't buy him last year. I don't buy him this year. They're not athletic enough.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from the newest show on FS1, First Things First, with Chris Carter and Nick Wright.